Button.
The button has been pressed.
The button has been pressed?
The baton has been pressed.
The baton. That's funny. Hello, Stuart.
Hello, Samuel. Hello, everyone.
Hello, audience.
Hello, world.
Hello, sky. Hello, moon. That's a thing.
Anyway, welcome back, guys. We have another episode of Lower Decks to talk about today. Episode 3.
Be thrilled to know everything's ended up going okay on my end, so it might sound and look like before. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, things are back to normal around here, so.
It was touch and go there, but yes, we managed to get a full edited review out, and the weekend will not be... You know, we had a cluster F of a week, but you guys haven't really noticed it. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Stress on my end, though. But yeah, do go in and watch our 15-minute review of the episode. Nice and compact, nice and neat. Looking at our thoughts, our breakdowns, and this will be our way more detailed one. You guys know the rules and what we do. And hopefully you guys will join us for this. Because I definitely prefer these as a full, like, let's debate and think and talk and be you and me together again for the... Nope, trailed off there at the end. That's okay.
Moving on. Sergeant Montgomery, less Easter eggs. Yeah, well, they basically blew their wad all over the last episode, so who knows? There are like no Easter eggs in this one, I don't think, really. Except Tom Paris.
I mean, you got the planet, you got the shuttles, you've got the Orion stuff, you've got the disease, you've got the... Yeah, there's loads of small things. But they're more integrated than, like, look, here's
the thing you recognize.
Here's literally the game from the episode Times Arrow.
Eugene throws in 2,000 rubles. So great way to get. Thank you so much.
Very good way.
Nice episode. I was laughing my ass off at most things.
Hold on, Stuart. You died there. Go from the top.
I mean,
it's great. Your internet
really?
was better throughout the week. Why is it back to this again?
No idea.
So,
anyway,
what's Eugene say?
He says, "Nice episode, not bad moments. I was laughing my ass off at most scenes."
Eugene.
I laughed at one or two scenes, but honestly, this episode was kind of meh for me. I think one of the worst of this season. I know Samuel disagrees with that.
I do strongly, and Eugene is quite a discerning viewer. So, if he actively says he liked it, well, that means he really liked it, and yeah. No, that is cool. I will get sharing. Go right into that. So I'll see you in a moment.
As you guys thought, Eugene has super chatted, and super chats are a great way to support the channel and help us out. If you can, please do so. Thank you very much, Eugene, for that. But if you want to help the channel in other ways, you can head on over and to Patreon/Trekyards, which is a great way to help us as well. Patreon's really important, actually. If you can, please consider doing that for a small monthly fee, or just hit the join button down by the side of the subscribe button here. You can join the channel, and it's another monthly fee. It's like a subscription service kind of thing. So you get some cool emojis and badges beside your name, and your name highlighted, so we're more likely to read your comment or questions. So anyway, please consider doing that, or by all means, super chat. Super chat is a great way to do it. As you can see, we read all those super chats, so you can get your thoughts out there about this episode, or just bash us for thank you, Matt. Bash us for being idiots if you want, but everyone will see. You can also send us a PayPal. The information is down in the description of every video. Just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com. Let us know in the regular chat that you've sent that, and we will use that. We will go check the email from PayPal and read your comment or question via that way as well. You can also help yourself out, get some Trekyards merchandise or really cool stuff down at the Teespring store or the TeePublic store. The TeePublic store has been doing really well. You guys have really enjoyed all that stuff, so please check out that link and see if you want to purchase anything. And by all means, check out the other links down there as well. There's a bunch of cool stuff. There's even an Eagle Moss link that you can click. It's an affiliate link, so it shows them that the traffic's coming from Trekyards, and then they know that you guys are coming from Trekyards. And you can use the discount code Trekyards10 when you check out to save yourself some money. So lots of great ways to support the channel and help us out and help yourself out as well. So please consider doing so. And like I said, super chats are really important. We'd like to get another, honestly, $100 at this point, another $100 on top of what we already have. That's kind of our minimum. So if you can, please consider doing so. We'd really appreciate it. Eugene and Mark Lawrence are here, which are awesome. They have super chatted and they're good supporters of the channel. So thank you so much, guys. But yeah. Yeah, Devo77X, I agree. My question is now, who is going to be head of chief of security? Because Kayshawn was on the bridge, so who knows? That's a very good question. So Mark Lawrence, though, throws in $5 and says, if this is going to be the worst episode of the season, we'll be in great shape for the rest. In my opinion, so far, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't say it's the worst. I didn't mean it. What I meant to say was it was the least enjoyable for me. Although it had its moments. It had 3 really good things that I really, really enjoyed seeing. That was, of course, Shaxx returning. Spoilers. It was also the Orion version.
I'm just enjoying this. I'm just sitting back and
I know. There's also the Orion version of Mariner and Tendi. They were fantastic. And of course, seeing Tom Paris was great, even though underused in my opinion. So those are the 3 things I really enjoyed about this episode. But the Shaxx being back was the biggest thing. Well, besides Mariner and Tendi. I'll stop now. Samuel.
Hello, Stuart.
I kind of said that I thought it was my least favorite of this season, but you say it's your. So you start. You give us your thoughts on this episode.
I mean, you just gave us yours, so yes, I can jump in. So, Samuel, what do you think? Well, Stuart, thanks for asking.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I know. I'm just refining it to a simple ask.
Oh. Let's try again. Edit there, okay?
Okay, future Sam, when you edit this, take out Stuart's nonsense, yeah?
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
Oh, by
hey
the way,
guys, I'm Captain
editing
Foley.
Sam.
Oh, yes.
Editing Sam. That's for you, baby.
All
right, moving on.
Okay, Stuart, you know, let's just start this again. Let's just restart. I'll edit all the first bit out. We'll start again. Okay, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trekyards. Today we're talking about episode 3 of season 2 of Lower Decks.
Yes, today is the Tom Paris episode. We'll always love Tom Paris, and it's also called We'll Always Have Tom Paris. Yes, so Stuart, another legacy character, a duo of ladies, and 2 men going a bit crazy, and a cat going equally crazy, probably more crazy, even more crazy than the rest of the crew put together. So what do you think of season 3, episode 2?
Yes, something like that. That was a good summation, I guess, of the episode, for sure.
And yes, I finally did the wrong way around of season 2, episode 2. I was hoping you're going to jump in and say, oh, I loved season 2, episode 2. Yes. But Stuart,
the internet got bad for a second, so I didn't quite hear it all. But so anyway, Samuel, we'll start with your thoughts today.
Excellent.
What did you think of this episode?
I liked it.
Simple enough.
I liked it. I keep remembering. What's our like initial super chat and like goal? I forgot to ask that.
Oh, I didn't give one. I said for the super chats, like 100 to start off would be fantastic. So if you can, please do. We have 57 people watching with 37 likes. I think we can get to 50 likes easily. Easily. Only 13 more likes. Hit that like button, guys. There you go.
Okay.
Now, thoughts.
Yeah, no, so I liked it. I always rewatch these just before live, so I refreshed it. Yep, for me, easily best of the 3. It had the most cohesive overall feel for an episode. There wasn't one particularly weak element compared to the 4, I guess. It used the characters better in general, as in the main characters, and it was really refreshing and rewarding to have an episode focused on Tendi, who got most of the, as a percentage-wise, most of the meaningful screen time, who Mariner was her secondary, and was just there to take her through this journey, to feed off of, to help build that chemistry and to help build it. So it was great to have her be clearly the main in the episode, which I'm sure she was pretty happy to, the actress, to have like a very clearly a Tendi episode. Awesome. Rutherford obviously got a continuation, or sort of the last epilogue of him dying, and then a hell of a meta canon mystery, which was fun, if a bit silly, but fun. That really fine line, but they were happily on the clever, not silly, too silly line, you know? Where, like, God Ransom was very far on the silly line. This was on the serious line. And then the Boimler was very close to that stupid line. And as I said in our other review, to really kind of save that plot line to make it feel meaningful, it should have had a last scene with Paris and Boimler. That was absolutely needed. I'm shocked they didn't do it. It didn't really... it's the weakest of the four storylines, but it's still good. And it's fun to watch, and it creates other possible mysteries, and it asks another long time issue of what happens if non-authorized people are on the ship, which is a great question, and this is sort of an answer, although they already hang the lantern on it being because we upgrade our security systems like this week, so it's not even that most ships will have it, so they again had their cake and ate it too and played both sides, but everything mostly works, and as I said in our previous review, this one is more about having a medium-sized main course with multiple very tasty sides that all come together to perform a full meal. Whereas other episodes this season for me, or the previous two, have been a delicious side, a reasonably small and weak main course, and then a few nice appetizing bites, but really hasn't come together. This is a more strong overall meal.
Comparing it to meals, I kind of like the snack food analogy there, like the little appetizer things. But for me, that wasn't what I wanted in this. Yeah, like I said, the Shaxx thing was great. I thought that was the best part of the episode. The Mara and Tendi stuff was great to see them together. But, I mean, the only real part of that I really enjoyed, because I thought it was kind of just a comedy of errors and stupid, was them together on Orion, or Orion, as I heard somebody say it the other day. The Orions, the Orion females. Anyway, so it would be a simple solution to the problem, honestly. I don't know why they had to go through all of that. It's like one of those Shakespearean things where it's like, just talk to each other and you'll figure it out, instead of being... I would just say, you know what? This thing's been in storage forever. The guy said it was there forever in the storage unit. Maybe it got dropped. Maybe it broke inside the box. I didn't break it. I didn't open the box. That's what I would have said. So, pretty simple. Other than that, the Tom Paris stuff was super underused. The Kazon reference was great. A Kazon! And the tackle, that was hilarious. And it's kind of like what I said in our other edited review. The one thing I really took away from this episode was that the plates in the future are goddamn tough. They get plasmified, they get dropped from ceilings, they get jammed into panels, and they don't break.
Would have been great if we'd seen a moment where Paris was punching and he uses the plate to block, so he's punching his own face. That'd have been nice. He's like, why is this Kazon using my face against me? I'm not a Kazon! See, you should have given Robbie at least 5-10 more lines. My God.
Yes.
It wasn't a waste of him, but it was as glorified a cameo as you can get.
Yeah. But they did confirm that the Kali class engines can really purr. Like they're a different model of engine than other ships in the fleet. It's like, oh, well, and they definitely look different, so.
They are weird. But I like I say, I liked it. It was and I said on the review that unlike the other two and a lot of Lower Decks, this used every element of existing canon without inventing anything new specifically, and just developed a thread from an existing part of the universe. And so each one now extends, improves, diversifies an element, whereas other episodes so far this season have thrown in a new thing, continued it, and have then dropped it. Whereas the Orion storyline, those moments, those additions to the lore will stay around forever now. They're meaningful. They're additive. What?
Yeah, even to the point of, it's hard getting in the academy. The Federation still has this weird perception that we're all thieves and pirates. That reminds me, my cousin is hanging at a thieves' den on a pirate outpost. It's like, goddamn.
It's such a fun line.
Yeah,
this one's probably one of the funnier ones of the season so far, but more because I think it has a few really, really good jokes. It's not particularly a funny episode, but has a few like killer moments, whereas the other ones have kind of been.
Actually, now that the more I think about it, and the more I listen to you talk about it, I really get the sense that this could have been an Orville episode, just with everything that happened
Orville.
with the side quest to go fix the thing. It just seems like it would be an Orville type of episode. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Whereas I think it's kind of close to a TNG episode. But a
Well,
bit
so
more
are
silly.
most Orville episodes. That's what I'm saying. It had that spark of humor, and like we didn't have to do this, but we went there anyway. That TNG might not necessarily do. So, but yeah. Anyway, let us know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section, and please super chat if you're able to. We'd really appreciate it. We have 47 likes right now with 70 people here. Come on, 3 more likes, get to 50. But honestly, I'm going to push for 75 likes right now. So let's get to that 75 mark. Hit the like button. All right.
First scene, Stuart. First scene.
Oh, the first scene is the mess hall. Boimler's trying to get something to eat, and the computer doesn't recognize him, and he's got a line up behind him. I would just move, let everybody do their thing, and go back to the replicator afterwards instead of holding up the line. Plus, there's other replicators as well. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of stupid. You know?
I mean, conceptually, it's fun. Although it asks more questions. One, they've got trays, whereas Replicator does make plates normally. So it's interesting that they bring their own. It feels more communal that way.
Yeah.
So that's quite odd. That might have been
more like Enterprise. You know, you
Yeah.
grab your tray, you go grab your snacks out of the thing. Yeah.
And it might just be because, I mean, this is clearly a huge industry-sized replica. It's not like some advanced, sleek model, which is like tiny and everything's provided. But also, yeah, you can literally see another replicator behind them, and yet they're lining up when, yes, there's a guy there, but line up other. But also, bloody Jen. She's in every goddamn episode. It's always Jen. Which is great. And Geordie lady
She's
from
always-
the episode. First episode.
Yeah, she's always grumpy, this Jen.
Well, look at the ignorant people she has to deal with. But I like his lack of even anything. It's like, just give me any food, please. But I guess this
Yeah.
is
Well,
day one, because surely this would be a problem to have straight away.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that it starts out with Ransom saying, "So we added you back into the system. If you have any problems, you know, make sure you go see what the hell is his name? Billups.
Just engineer, man.
Just flag it for Billups. Yeah." Then we get to Tendi in Rutherford, where she's wolfing down her food because she didn't get the promotion, so she's got a shit ton of stuff to do before work to make up for it, or to prove that she's good. And Rutherford's like, "No, it's fine, man." Shax is back, and he wants, what does he want on his hot dog?
Gross things. That's the
Ketchup,
answer.
spicy kiwi.
Yes.
Oh, you okay? I thought you were just staring at your screen. I was just talking. I didn't know it had dropped. God damn it.
But no,
Anyway,
I'm not-
Shax is back.
Yes, I do quite like the, you know, that other ensign got promoted because she happened to save a captain because she happened in the right place at the right time. Also, is that the captain's a bit of a, not favoritism, but just a bit impulsive. It's like, oh yes, you saved me. Here's a promotion. Where Tendi does more stuff. But you know, if they not become ensigns anymore, that would kind of ruin the subtext a bit. And look at his cool muffin.
Pumpkin Spice says, "Why is the background character using a visor? They have cloned eyes now." Yeah, but they might not want cloned eyes. They might want the
Retinax, Stuart. One word, Retinax.
Yeah, they might be allergic to the new implants or something. So, or like Geordie's new eyes,
Or
they
she
might not want those.
She prefers the visor.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah,
Why is that a problem?
not everyone needs to have robot eyes if they don't want to. It's a choice.
Yeah.
And what a great purple muffin. That looked nice. I wanted to eat that muffin. And I love, you know, it's even a joke I might write to my episodes that everyone eats burritos on lower decks. Everyone. It's always burritos. Which hey, big burrito fan.
Well, it's California class, so it's that kind of vibe, that kind of food down there. So.
Yeah, and this Drax thing was a real. I'm sure, and guys, tell us in the chat below. How shocked were you? Because it did feel like a sudden brick wall was hit. Like you're driving a car and there's suddenly a brick wall in front of it. What? Huh? Because there's definitely no lead up. All surprise. It's not. It doesn't make sense. It's just like, oh, right. Cool.
Yeah, and I love the whole. They always come back. The just don't. We'll never find out why conversation. And poor Rutherford's like, but he died trying to save me. I want to find out how he came back. It was nice because you always wonder like the episodes of Star Trek. Yeah, the bridge crew knows exactly everything that happens during a mission. None of the other crew does. And will they get informed? Probably not. Like, and you got to wonder what it's like to be those lower decks guys. So I really like that aspect about this episode.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's just random, but I do think he feels different as a character. I'll get into that later. Definitely different. And the fact that Mariner is the most chill about it. I mean, we know she's served on 5 ships. She's been demoted. Wasn't the most demoted officer in Starfleet history. So she's seen this probably lots of times. It does certainly devalue the whole he died in season 1 and even just death in general. But also, Boimler got transporter cloned yesterday, and now there's 2 of them on 2 ships, and we're moving past it. So life is both creatable and recreatable, moving on. It's like, huh. It's the future, baby! And Jen's still a bitch.
But Boimler finally gets something to eat in the form of a bonsai tree.
And I love he still takes it. He's sad.
Maybe it's made out of like lettuce and
Space bonsai tree. Yes.
Because why would the replicators in the mess hall be making bonsai trees? Like seriously.
Well, it's a generic replicator. It can make loads of things.
Except for trays, but okay. Jonathan Davies, 5 pounds. Did anyone see the stars of Orion's belt through the windows behind Tendi? No. I'm going to go take a look. That's kind of funny, actually. Ooh. Yeah. There's the 3 stars of Orion overhead. Wow. Interesting. That's a nice little touch. I did not notice that. Good call.
Yeah.
Subtle. Anyway, then we get Tendi. She gets a special assignment from the doctor. She's got to go pick up a family heirloom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you so much. You must trust me." No, I just needed the lowest ranking person that would ask the least amount of questions. So, but she's just scratching.
But, no offense or anything.
Yeah. But
and I do like that there's a big fault here that in theory the mission is do it yourself. I thought first time around that's how it's implied, but she does say explicitly that I'm allowed to bring someone else. But if you're specifically asking someone who's not going to ask questions, you shouldn't give them a friend who'll ask questions. So I thought first watching it was she was going alone, and then she said, "Hey, come along anyway," and that's why it got opened. That's why everything fell apart literally fell apart because you're meant to be the not asking questions person. But I mean, this doctor's not thinking straight. That's the whole point. I kind of thought it was fleas.
I did too.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a flea remedy or something. Yeah.
But it's a reasonably good thing. It's nice everyone gets used this week, even if they're like tiny parts. It feels like a big crew. No one's really getting avoided. But yes, go do it.
Then we got the great scene of them all. Well, nothing's reacting for Boimler on the ship, and he's like, "I'm here to see Tom Paris from Voy." I love the abbreviation of Voyager to Voy, because every show gets abbreviated online. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I half liked it because it's like calling Picard JL. It's kind of like you could it removes the cool factor of calling him Jean-Luc Picard or just Picard. It makes sense with Boimler, but they should still call it Voyager as well because Voyager's a ship. It's like, would you really do everything? The constellation is the con. Oh, we're gonna go to the con or the rely or roll. Like it doesn't. It works fine in some scenes, but they overuse it very quickly, and I just wish they'd say Voyager because it's just a better way of saying it.
I know, but they're making fun of the online abbreviation of Voy.
I understand that, but the characters in the universe shouldn't be every scene.
Well, they're talking about the mission, the 7-year mission of Voyager. Those chronicles are called Voy. I don't know. They're not talking specifically about the ship, so.
Oh, like I say, a little bit overused, but it's fun. And what are the luck? What a luck! Boyman's back for like 2 days, and already they're getting a celebrity visit.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky. Imagine if he'd been 3 days later, because he has Janeway. Like he met. I mean, they've been back like 3 years, so he was able to meet Admiral. Yeah, this is post Nemesis, so mother frickin' Admiral Janeway, and got a signature, and probably was at the Academy as well. I mean, he's been collecting. In fact, I'm gonna go back to season 1 and see which plates he had, because we did actually see his collection.
Okay.
Yes. But
I love the references to Tom Paris, the first man to break the transwarp barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still a salamander?
She knows he wasn't.
That was a celerity-induced acceleration.
Stop trolling,
somatic
Mariner.
mutation. Right. And he's fine now.
But it does sound cool when you say it like that.
Yeah. But the whole void thing, it wastes time, or it saves time. No, it doesn't. She uses it later. It does kind of, yeah.
I like the payoff of that, because when they're not fighting, they're more relatable as a team.
Yeah.
So that was really good, I thought. Yeah.
Well, Paris is on a handshake tour telling voice stories for morale. So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they survive more than most ships will ever go through. And really, there isn't much of his character. It's like a glorified cameo, but just the fact that he's still happy, positive, and cheery says a lot. That at least there's that to kind of good for Paris.
And while you're looking for the plates, I mean, Shax is mentioned here, and then all of a sudden Rutherford's like, doesn't it bother anybody that he's back without us knowing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the bridge crew always come back.
Mm-hmm.
We're lower decks. We'll never find out how it happened, but and Rutherford's like, I really want to know because you saved my life in the process of this. And Boimler's like, no, you don't ask how he came back. And then they go into all the reasons: transporter buffer pattern switch, restored Katra, mirror universe switcheroo, Borg rebuilt him, or he could be a future son from an alternate timeline. Maybe he got Genesis deviced, or time ribboned, or trapped in the Nexus. The time ribbon and the Nexus are the same thing. Like, it's hilarious. I absolutely love it. Like, they would learn about a lot of this stuff, I guess, in the Academy. So, but great references all around.
And most of them in Second Watch would be historical rather than like one-off, events. So I appreciate that. And it means if you like reference Genesis device in fan films, it's justifiable because it's obviously not classified. And this random schlub knows about it, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But no, and it's great. They are on the same page. They're not butting heads as much, and it feels good. Mariner's clearly grown. She was way more abrasive and way more dismissive. And yeah, she called him a pet later on, but it's quite like, I mean, it's not my boyfriend. Like, it's reactionary rather than mean. So I like how everyone's more on the same page this week. Good Star Trekness.
And Boimler can't figure out why the ship isn't reacting to him because he's been added back into the system. Should be working. And we get the explanation here that they've actually just beefed up the security because of the Packlet attacks. So, okay, there you go, security system.
And I said in another review that maybe it's being overzealous now. It's going a bit too much. Too sensitive and secure. Yeah.
But Tendi asks Mariner if she wants to go on the mission with her because they never spend any time together.
Oh, of course they have, Stuart. They have, right?
Well, that's what Mariner says.
Yeah, I know.
No, we must have. It's like, no, not just the two of us. So they're going on a girls' trip.
Girls' trip! Why are you laughing, Stuart?
It's probably not the first time you said that. Girls' trip.
And are they getting permission from the captain for this? Can the medical officer issue orders to send them off ship? And it's not as if they were close to this planet. It's they'd take the shuttle at warp, assuming for several days.
Yeah, there's no sense of time though, at all.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't think it was very long because
he's on
this whole thing with Boimler and Tom Paris on board is probably only a day.
Yeah.
So,
but also they're not they're not the Enterprise. They're in Federation space, chilling. So everything is closer, I guess. Yeah. But to be 7 hours away at warp to an Orion mercenary camp is quite worrying, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah.
Like they're not far. And that was the second destination, so they're in like half a day. And I guess they're out of Federation jurisdiction, as you would think the Federation would say. I don't think we want pirates literally in Starfleet space. Now, if they're out of Starfleet space, fine. But they're not, because they went to the Picard planet, which is where they were in his, like, his academy training. So I think they messed up time and space, Stuart.
Yep.
Discovery does it too, and then we call out for it, because wrong is still wrong. Oopsie!
Yep. It happens in TNG all the time, though, too. So, I mean, it's a thing that happens. There's the odd episode where it's like none of the time issues make any sense. Just so.
Yeah, it's very JoJo like, where you can zip between 3 planets in one day, and it's like you really can't. It takes more than a day to even go to 1 planet, let alone 3 planets. So I think I'm more annoyed about that now, because it is dumb.
I never even thought about it, but now that you make me think about it, yeah, it's kind of annoying. So
it's very Rise of Skywalker. You know, it's like, don't think about it, we'll go to the next planet. It's like, but how? Shut up! Shut up! We're on a fetch quest.
Fetch quest.
And it would have been great, actually, if, like, Paris was staying around for a bit, or, like, they had some cooler plot line, so he was there several days and they could have explained it. Although, I didn't get the sense she knew him. And Mariner's sort of known for knowing people. I don't know about you, but I kind of got the of him, but not actually him, so she, what do you think?
Or not knowing Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she did. Because later it's like, you get your bull sign, but Chakotay or whoever. It's like very dismissive.
Well, that is just Mariner, though.
I know, but yeah, I got the feeling that she didn't know him personally. So
yeah,
nice scene with Jet. Jet wants to help out. I like Jet, but
yeah, that was great to see him as well, because we were both thinking he may either not reappear or be in a few, and that was really nice to see. Just like I said, listening to this episode briefly, but felt like a big crew. Maybe it felt more like TNG as well, because it was a real like ensemble. Everyone had a little part. Yeah.
So again, Boimler can't get through the door after Jet. Like he goes through and gets his fingers caught, which is kind of funny. And then has to go through the Jeffries tube.
Question though, why isn't the Jeffries tube locked? Given they have access to more of the ship.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Slight issue there.
Yeah.
And one of the subtle references that someone posted online is that this Jeffries tube, which ain't pretty cool, is actually the exact same angle, drawing, and design as the Cold Station 12 place in Star Trek Enterprise, where Archer was jettisoned into space and beamed out with the Klingon augments. It's the exact same turbulent shaft that he looked up, all of the climbing thing. So they just took the visual, did it here. It's like,
and
right, okay.
200 more rungs. So I'm not sure how far that is in because ladders are a certain distance. Like that's wow. Where are they on the ship? Like
there's also the issue of him traveling, because we see him going past a panel that Rutherford's using, which is in engineering, which is in the bottom pod, which is not where they were originally. And if they were, he'd have to have climbed all the way up the ship. But next to that point, he says, I'm near the bridge, but he's not near the bridge. So I assume that's visually aesthetic rather than literal, which is fine, but that's definitely the wrong visual to have.
That was a huge thing that pissed me off. Yeah, he goes right by the engineering thing, gets trapped, and falls out onto the bridge. It's like, what the hell?
Because the bridge is the top.
Yes. You wouldn't think there's a Jeffries tube above the bridge either.
No. And even if there was, he would certainly be more cognizant of he got to the bridge. That was dumb.
Yep.
Didn't my sentence.
One of the things that pissed me off about this episode. I was like, oh my god, seriously?
But yeah, that was a shame. But you know, Kazons can come out of any nook and cranny. But speaking of nooks and crannies, Stuart, give us a new super chat goal and like goal as we are going through this episode.
Well, we need obviously another $50. Maybe 100 would be great. But 101 people watching and 69 likes, guys. I asked for 75. We're almost there. 6 more likes. But now, because y'all have been lollygagging, I want to get to 100 likes.
Yes.
So if you haven't hit the like button, please consider hitting it. We'd really appreciate that. But now we're on Quaylar 2, or heading towards Quaylar 2. They have the whole conversation about it's weird how we haven't been teamed up before, and how Quaylar 2 is really awesome. Every drink is can be in the form of a slushie. We have to get like 5 slushies. Now there are a lot of visuals here for shuttles, and I swear to God, the first time I watched this, I thought the first shuttle was a Discovery shuttle. It's not. It is actually one of the motion picture trams that comes into the station when Kirk's gets off of. But for a second, I thought it was a Discovery shuttle, and it just annoyed me the whole episode watching this. Went back and did a frame by frame to get the screen grab of it, and it's not a Discovery shuttle, thank God. But it would have been funny if it was, even though it would have annoyed me. But we see some really great shuttles, even on the landing pad. Some that we've seen, some that we haven't. Some look like concept shuttles, actually. So we're going to talk about those in a separate video, I'm sure. I'm Messy.
Oh, yes.
I'm me C. Puts in $5.
Thank you.
How do you feel about Tom being a lieutenant? It is weird Starfleet is using him as an example considering his past. Is it his Admiral dad again? No, we'll see. He had a past, sure, but people can grow and learn, and he was with Voyager for 7 years, and then when they got back, he chose to stay in Starfleet and not say, see ya, I can quit now, essentially. So that shows a dedication, and yeah, maybe his dad had something to do with it, but I mean, he's become a much better person over the course of Voyager. So I have no problem with that. And if you want a likable guy going around doing morale things, so that's Tom Paris.
I mean, I would assume he was the example, the prime example of you can turn your life around, guys. Only 9 years ago, he was in prison for doing bad things, joining the Maquis, all this crap, and now he was the pilot of the ship that survived 7 years against the Borg, simplifying the story for children. You know, it's like that's amazing, and he's well-rounded. He's now married with a child, with a Klingon, half Klingon. So you know, good for interdimensional, intergalactic relations. It's great, perfect. I'm just happy. I'm actually really happy he was still a lieutenant rather than like a commander or anything, because it shows that he was happy just to keep going. Because I would think that he wouldn't be like, I'm going to focus on my career now after having to focus on my career for 7 years. It's like, yo, I'll be chill. I'm sure the Voyager crew is allowed to like pick their assignments straight after and not be out in the field if they want to, etc., etc. So I'm sure he's earthbound, and then this is a fun thing for him to do. No, I'm actually very, very logical, and the fact that he still feels positive and friendly is real nice, real nice.
And Dan23 is saying he's having problems with the video. He's got the chat, but the video is just black. Well, I can see the video. Try refreshing, maybe.
Refresh. Or different tab. Fresh tab.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, though, $10.
Oh.
If we hit 100 likes, I will help Sam make a special visual effects something. Sam chooses.
I mean, that's
we're at 83 likes.
17
more likes, guys. Actually, I could use some more openings for my Captain Foley channel. And Sam doesn't want to do them, so I mean, Matt, there you go. I need some non-Star Trek ones. I need a Star Wars one. I need some just random generic sci-fi ones, because not everything's Star Trek. Just saying. But anyway, so Quaylar 2, we've got Quark's bar again. We saw that in Picard.
And just for reference sake, this is the same. We just watched this episode in the episode of TNG we just watched, where they Unification Part 1 and Part 2. The space station orbital thing above this planet is the one where they steal the Vulcan ships. This is the same planet where they go to the bar and talk to the lady and find the Ferengi. So this is outside that bar in a few years from then.
Nice.
So
with the salt sticks.
Yes. Yeah.
We should have seen the lady walking down the street. That would have been awesome.
Well, I think one of these many neon signs is actually like her name as a musical thing, but I don't remember her name. But one of them is so there is something directly in there. So yeah, they actually went to another planet, another canonical planet, which is great.
There is the Zebulon Sisters sign, but
that's the Choo 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 people. They added a third chew. Radical. But yeah, good stuff. And I quite like. I was assuming the slashes would be an actual part of the story, but I kind of like they're just adding to the ambiance because Mariner's not the biggest force, so whatever she says isn't necessarily the drive. And we give Tindy a great little moment here with another one of the, what are they called? Cations?
Yeah, Cations, yeah.
And I love that it makes sense, but I was assuming it'd just be some human, so I like the fact that it's actually going to a Cation to do Cation stuff, and then you get to see how they act and personality and Klingon punk rock. It's great.
Yeah, one thing we do know is that the Cations, at least one of them, like Klingon punk rock.
Acid punk, sorry.
Acid punk, yeah.
No, brilliant.
Which is just punk rock, but yeah, it says it's been in there for years, and we get to learn a little bit of acid punk rock, which I don't really care about. So
yeah, it's hard when you can't hear what they're saying.
But
I guess neither you could with opera, so the Klingon opera. But it's fun.
Yeah. What the hell? Hold on.
Then they took one of the guys finding the box. They're like, "Oh my god, you like this? I do." Wait, I never heard you talk about it. I do all the time with Rutherford, but so it's one of those little signs of I have real big interests, but we never talk, hang out. We just work, hang out, and that becomes the common thread that they aren't actually friends, which happens in all friends groups and work, especially when you work with somebody. You just work friends, but do you know anything about them? Maybe not. This is an extreme case, obviously, but even in the first, we said this in the first season. Often the pairings didn't quite make sense because Tendi and Rutherford were clearly the secondaries, while both interesting characters didn't get much. And if you always focus on Mariner, which is one of the conceits of season 1, always Mariner, which meant she got the most development and the most focus, but she was also not being shown a backstory until certain moments, so she also wasn't getting deep development. Relegating the main storylines to her and Boimler, which always meant the secondary stories went to the other two, and either they weren't interesting or they were underdone, and they didn't. The time differential was hugely disparative. So hopefully this will mean we're going to get a lot more of the varied sets, because I'd love to see. I think all 4 of them have chemistry individually. If you just write them damn scenes, I want to see it. But it's the sort of thing where 7 seasons in, it shows we can have these unique configurations. Whereas season 1, it was about Mariner, it was about her journey with her mum. This is clearly a season that's more general and more about the entire crew. They're confident to have everybody. That's a good sign, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, they take the thing back to the shuttle, and they wondering what it is, so they open it up. Girls peek.
And this is where, if she was alone, this wouldn't happen. But because she picked an officer that...
Mariner,
yeah. Yep.
But we find out it's actually a
sex thing.
Cation libido post. And she's like, "Hey, my name's Jeremy. I can't believe you're touching it. Ooh, let's put it back." Which is kind of funny. This is her grandma's claw marks or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, it falls and breaks. And at this point, I would have been like, just put it back in the box. It was in storage for a long time. Maybe it fell off one of the shelves. It was broken in the box. We didn't know it. Why bother with all this extra bullshit? But Tendy's OCD Tendy, she's like, I want to be.
I feel like you would be too, though, because you're kind of OCD as well and things.
It would depend. This is one of those situations where I would just put it back in the box and say I'd never opened it and I didn't know it was broken. So, sorry.
Okay. Fair enough. But no, it was the only problem with this. I like what it is. I like the concept. I like the fact that it's like Ponfar but different. It's all good. Adds to the race. Great. But the way they break it is very clumsy, literally and figuratively. The animation's wonky. It doesn't work. They haven't even established it's heavy yet. I would have preferred if maybe a shuttle had landed next to them and dropped down and oh no, we dropped it. And then maybe it's not the Nauticans yet, but some other alien race. Because the way they do it is a bit shit. But it's, whatever. Well, I love Tendy's face.
And we get some canon Cetacean information here that they have to be intimate once a year, otherwise their hormones go crazy or drive them crazy. It's like Ponfar. Learn something new about another species in Star Trek. So that's
and
cool.
You want to know a lot more about the about that race, the Doctor. So awesome.
Anyway, we got to fix this, and Mariner's like, I know a guy. We're gonna get this fixed. Don't worry about it. And with this where she also says, like, I broke Worf's mechleth once on Deep Space Nine, fixed it before I even knew. Like, why were you on Deep Space Nine? Oh, I served there. Served there right before I was assigned to the Keto.
Which is the
I thought you knew that.
Olympic.
Yes. I thought you knew that. And it's like, no, I didn't know that. I've served on 5 Starship. It's sort of my thing. I love that because we knew that in season 1, but these two never talk. So I think it's reiterating it for the audience, perhaps, that might have forgotten, that don't focus on the episodes like we do. So it's refreshing the audience's memory while revealing something to Tendi. I like kind of like the way it was played out. So, but we didn't know she served on DS9. That's an interesting little tidbit. So.
And it's a frustrating tiblet. Tiblet. It's a frustrating tiblet. As I'll reiterate briefly, that I've got a fan film script that's already been filmed, which both deals with the Cerritos and our lead character Nim Keeley, who served on DS9 and the Defiant especially, and yet on the Cerritos we have a mini story and we don't know the 4 ensigns explicitly. But if Mariner served on DS9 when Worf was there, then they have to have served together. And under 300 people, that Federation on the Starfleet on DS9, you think?
Probably, yeah.
So you would know every single one of them. Especially if Mariner was as ballsy as she is. Which gives me quite an issue there. I've got to retcon some shit, because I want to be consistent. So damn you, Man, for adding canon. But also, that maybe, hopefully, implies we'll actually get to see some Mariner flashbacks during DS9. Yes. And give us some cameo time with any of them.
Cameo.
Oh, well, let's be honest, any of them. Maybe she's fighting Worf in the holodeck. Maybe she's, Chakotay, Odo, or not. Well, I guess not Renee, but Quark, obviously Quark. Mm-hmm. I mean, that really opened a big door.
Yeah,
sure.
I can see her going to Quark for some help at some point because she did serve on DS9, and maybe owes him a favor or something. He calls in a favor, or she needs a favor from him, like something like that could definitely work out.
So I don't feel like you mentioned that without it going somewhere. That's a lead-in. That's a setup. She has such a history. Although briefly, and this is one thing, a negative review of the episode I thought was quite a valid point. So Tendi actively rebukes Mariner for not knowing about her past service record. But Mariner actively keeps her background quiet. Actively. Mm-hmm. She doesn't share stuff. She doesn't want to get involved. And she even says later on, I don't tell people because they leave. So the way that she plays, like, hey, that's who I am. I can see her not telling most people. So it's just because we know, because Boimler knows. It's a little bit of a double standard. It's like, how would you know if you haven't told me and you don't tell people things? So it's a little bit inconsistent, but if that's the least of her secrets, but she doesn't tell people things. That's kind of her whole deal. So small thing, but
Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Thank you so much. Do you think Mariner tormented Odo on DS9?
No.
Probably drove him crazy. But
I mean, she was an ensign, so I don't think she had the balls to, or the Odo would put her in her place. Let's just say that.
She might. When she was going to the Keto, though, I think she had the lieutenant bar or pips on, and then she's been demoted quite a few times. So I don't know if she was necessarily an ensign, but.
Well, that was a lot of years ago, though.
True, but.
And the Keto was only a few years ago, because that was our last ship. So I think the timeline leads in that it would have been, because Worf also wasn't there, like in Nemesis, etc. Because timeline. So I think we're enough years that it would have to have been a while ago, and she could have been ensign early is fine, but yeah.
Well, here she says she knows a fixer on Bonestel, who can repair anything. So they're going to quickly warp over there. So how far is Bonestel away from Trekyards?
Apologies, I just got to deal with one thing briefly. Sorry.
Okay. But yeah, they'll warp on over there. So I don't know if they're kind of giving some distances for us, so maybe we can figure out the time it takes to get there. But yeah, we're on Quator 2, and then they're going to Bonestel. I don't know where Sam went, but that's okay. But everything will be fine. We'll get it fixed, no problem. It's like girls trip, yay. A little bit more discouraged when they leave, though. So, but yeah, we'll just wait for Samuel to get back. But we have 90 likes with 116 people here. I think we can easily hit 100 now. Matt has said that he will a special effects thing for us for Trekyards if we get to 100 likes. So 10 more likes, guys, if you can. Super chats are good. They're flowing well. So thank you so much. So keep that coming, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the review, if not the episode. I heard a lot of people thought the episode was kind of blah. A lot of people really enjoyed the episode, and that's kind of where me and Samuel are sitting right now. Is I'm kind of like about the episode. He thought it was the best of season 2 so far, so that's where we're at.
Sorry about that. Bit of real life.
That's all right.
Where were we? Sorry. Hi.
Perfect time as I froze, apparently.
Yes.
There we go. So yeah, I was just saying if we could find out where Coilar 2 is in relation to Bone Still, you could do some calculations, maybe figure things out. But
yes,
at least they're giving us reference points. Dan23 throws in £1, so thank you so much, Dan.
Dan,
appreciated.
I sensed last episode.
Dan, he's our man. He can't do it. No one can.
Sometimes. 110 people though, guys. Put in the chat right now. I'd love to have a sense of: did you enjoy this episode? Did you meh this episode?
Yes.
Or did you dislike this episode?
That.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Just saying, yeah, because even in my live review last night, a lot of people were like, it was a meh, it was an alright episode, didn't really enjoy it. A lot of people were like, it was a really great episode, and I was like, okay, whatever. So it's interesting that we both have that. I'm kind of meh, you're kind of like, it's the best of season 2 so far.
Yeah, I just get a sense what you guys think. I would love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's team Cockings, who's team Foley?
Dum 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 dum. Yes, perfect.
We got a really great shot, close up of the nacelle, by the way, or the Bizarre Collector and the deflector.
We did, although I noted no extra detail.
Nope.
Which is odd, because
but
that deflector looks so bad up close. The facade looks fine, but that deflector is real bad when you look at it. When you're real bad.
But we got engine room.
Yes.
So. Okay, so we got a meh, love, meh, meh, meh. Best episode yet. Love, love, love. 8 out of 10.
Wow.
It was a good episode, and I loved it. So yeah.
Interesting. So split / meh.
It is split. It was super split last night too, and I was surprised.
Wow. But then we get the scene where every people brought back to life dreads is that random man's like, hey man, Strax, you're alive, man. How? And he's so happy and friendly. And it absolutely implies that he's only been alive like for a day. Because he can't have been on the ship for very long if he's just bumped into Strax, because he's in the auto metal. So this must be like day 2, you know? And Strax, the big man, the aggressive yelling man, has a little almost cry. And Billups... I was expecting to demote him, like full on, like on the spot demote him, which would be really harsh. But he reassigns him, so he's like, "You're fired from engineering. Go do something else on the ship," which is the other worst thing you can do. And it's like, "Ooh, that was a reaction. Hot damn, he's in trouble." And also, did you know they actually specifically called him Lieutenant Commander, which they rarely do. They just say Commander as a shorthand. And the way he said it was such a, "You're in trouble, mister," like full name insert here. I thought it was a nice little detail, but the actor was right on the money there.
Well, I like when Rutherford's walking away too. Have you had any flashbacks? I'm having one now.
What does that even mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But racquetball's important stuff. Just a fun little fun scene.
I am Misi. Throws in $20.
Oh.
Thank you so much. That is an awesome super chat.
Boom.
Those are good points about Paris. I think overall it is very obvious people behind this show love Trek. Absolutely.
And we have talked to the main man, and we absolutely know he does.
Yeah.
And we would be thrilled to be involved in some way because we would love to add our love to their love, to your
Yes.
love, to my love, to all of the love.
You see, when a showrunner and a franchise love each other very much, you get things like Lower Decks.
A beautiful
And
baby is born.
We would like to contribute our love into this
Oh no,
equation somehow.
that's sounding dirtier. That got 1,000 times worse, Stuart.
You knew I was going there, though.
Yeah, and I was calling you out because it was hilarious. Good job.
Anyway, Starbase Earhart, named after Amelia Earhart, obviously.
But also from TNG, flat out from Tapestry, the exact same port that Picard lost his heart. Which is great. It's the same Nausicaan table, not the same Nausicaans probably, but the same Nausicaan dumb jut table. Yeah, and it's actually not. We never saw a matte painting of Earhart, so this is a reuse of a TNG matte painting, almost verbatim, like beyond close. Good job. I would not have noticed it because that's such an intent reference, but I saw it online. I'm like, ah.
I didn't know it until just now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, another matte painting did.
So the guy agrees to fix it, and 50 strips of latinum. They don't have the latinum. How are we going to get the latinum? Pick the biggest, dumbest people in here. Nausicaans, Domjot. Problem solved. There you go. That scene's done.
Is this the first time we've seen Tellarites in Lower Decks?
No. We saw some in season 1.
Okay. I was trying to remember. And we see a good mix of old and new aliens, which I quite appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, these are rowdy players. And look at their eyes. Glowing in the dark. That was a choice.
Yeah.
What a choice.
Anyway, they basically have to hightail it out of there after the head gets broken because the guy gets mad that thinks they're cheating, slams his fist on the head.
And she isn't cheating. She's just hustling. There's a difference.
Well, he was about to stab her, and Mariner knocked the guy over, which hit the thing in the table, and
yeah, oops.
It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
Human play Domjot? Domjot human.
Human Dom. Judd? And also, subtle note, but behind Mariner is actually Starfleet officers in the normal uniform hanging out.
Yep.
Really subtle.
Yep.
I really appreciate that because, yeah, people are out doing things. It shows they are of the lower decks, and this is just average people, so I really appreciate that.
Well, the next scene's interesting because this is still crawling through the ship, and I think this one was thrown directly at Trekyards because if I follow this path, I'll be on the catwalk above the grav stabilizers static diffusers. Sounds like a Trekyards thing. Just saying. The technical. Almost to the bridge. Don't worry, plate.
And does it mean anything? I don't know.
I don't know either. But he's almost to the bridge, even though in a minute he's going to be down in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's another engineering maintenance.
No, that's a terrible plan.
Yeah. But he's safe where he is because nobody's going to be discharging the static at this point, so fine. But then Tom Paris arrives. And the whole, mind if I give this thing a whirl? I hear these Cali-class engines can purr. And we see Kayshawn there on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I guess, security. So, I mean, Shaq's probably just got back. He's probably not on active duty yet. He's probably still taking some time off.
Yep.
So, I hope they don't replace Kayshawn. I like him, but, we'll see.
Still, anything could happen. But it was great to see Paris in this uniform. The fact that they're just embracing it full on is great. It makes the whole thing feel more part of the universe. And, this is, I think we're 14 minutes in and Paris gets his first introduction. And it's so exciting. And very quickly after the scene ends, you're like, oh yeah, I know what this is going to be. Because his impact is minimal to say the least. And also, he's not doing anything as Tom Paris. He's just reading out lines. Not in a bad actor way, but this exact scene. Paris sits down. The captain says, don't test the Delta Quadrant. Paris should have said, never heard that one before, Captain. Good on ya. Some sort of witty remark. Because the fact that he, that's a stupid, obvious joke that he would have heard dozens, hundreds of times at this point. And he had no retort. That's actually, there was no chemistry bouncing there with Paris.
Yeah, I expected some kind of comeback from him for sure.
Or he does tap, 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 and Jen's like, how to do that? I was flying ships around the Borg while you were still in diapers. You know, like, you could have had a real scene here, and they just didn't. And it's a big letdown. Luckily, once you realise he's totally not the point of this episode, you kind of...
Yeah.
It's like with the TOS animated series Freighter. We thought it was going to be a big part of the episode, because the expectation from the trailer. If we didn't think it was important at all, we would have been more inclined just to ignore it as the episode did. And I think you get that with Paris quite quickly. But still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dan Ben, though, says Enterprise NX had a catwalk. Yes, but in the nacelles. So... And actually, the Enterprise E did, too, in the very bottom deck of the ship.
Oh, my God, don't remind me of that.
Catwalk across a big chasm. That apparently there was a lot more to the ship than we saw, because they were at the very bottom.
On deck 45, some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And this it definitely feels like a reference to the Enterprise one, although this is certainly not above the bridge. And given this is an impulse duct, because that's the whole point of the scene, he's in the saucer. But I don't understand why you need this sort of big... But the Cali is a big ship, I guess. They've got wasted space. Hey, this is not a turbolift roller coaster. I would accept a roller coaster sized turbo lift. No, roller coaster sized Jeffrey's tube. Because Jeffrey's put on some weight in his later years.
Oh, ow. Too soon. Jesus Christ.
But I do like the visual here of him almost dying by impulse fire. And the way they play.
Yeah, and holding the door closed when it wouldn't lock, and just see it coming out the sides. Tries to initiate a emergency shutdown, and it says it can't do that. Authorization not required. He's like, you don't need authorization in an emergency.
Which is kind of him just throwing that out because he's reacting. Although it makes so much sense that yes, you should have a default. But then again, that means the villains will be able to say, "Computer, please don't kill me in the blah, blah, blah." But no, yeah, I quite like that as a moment.
But his plate's fine. It's hot, but it's fine. He kisses it because he's an idiot.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, then we get the doctor demanding that the thing get there as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a whole conversation here about how hard it was for her to get into the academy because there's a lot of stigma around Orions. A lot of humans think they're all thieves and pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that reminds me. My cousin works at a thieves' den in a pirate outpost in this sector.
Oops.
That was a laugh out loud moment for me. That was one of them.
And it said wonderfully straight.
Yeah.
It's saying it knows exactly what it's trying to be, but also it makes so much sense because clearly the culture is very pirate based. So you're not wrong. It's like if you were near Vikings at the time, it's like fair to say a lot of them might be raiders. That's okay to assume that, you know.
And even later when she's like, I don't know, just talk like a pirate. I knew for a fact she was going to be like, "Arr, matey!" And as soon as it happened, I'm like, oh my god. So, yeah.
It was pretty great.
But the plan is they're going to go undercover. They're going to turn Mariner into an Orion. And I'm all for this plan. I like it. I'm glad to be part of it.
And we have seen very quick and easy dermal change. I'm kind of surprised it's that easy, but she's a medical person. It would have been nice if she'd had to have gone to her medical bag that she brought. We didn't see her bring it, but she brought it. And she gives her 2 injections to it would have been nice.
That would have made it last more. That would have made it last hours. They just went for the superficial, because it doesn't last long.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was such a cool idea that would have been nice to have. Yeah, but yeah. I know what you mean.
And we got Boimler snaking his way or through a corridor with his doing the wiggle thing.
Yes,
and there he goes by a grate. You get a pan out. You get to see some of the circuitry, and then you got Rutherford checking something in engineering.
Do you though?
I mean, it's engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they change angles to behind him, it's engineering. It's the same kind of engineering room as the Voyager has, or as the Intrepid class has. Same kind of setup for that entryway, right? So.
Yeah. Oops. I mean, it's got to be figurative because that's in the bottom pod. We know it is. Oh well. But then you get our canon throwing stuff at the camera. Although it's interesting that he would visualize a mirror universe so faithfully. That implies that they actually have genuine records of mirror universe. How else would they have? How else would we be able to picture exactly right the same badge, the same thing? So I guess Kirk did describe what he saw, and then he researched it at some point.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, there's really no other way of explaining it, 'cause no one ever. But it's a great set of references, and I think Strax is good in all of them. Actually, I'm kind of like, wow, yeah, let's have more Mirror Universe Strax. So it's great.
Yeah, so I mean, here we got Mirror Universe Shax, Borg,
Mhm.
Abraham Lincoln, Enterprise era,
Mhm.
TOS era,
Mhm.
dressed as Quark or
No.
Neelix for some reason.
Mhm.
And then, oh yeah, the Dyson Sphere one. The microscopic people turned him into. They're leeching his energy for their Dyson Sphere. It's like, oi.
Yes.
Marco Van Osh, though, £5
Thank
or €5. Sorry, just dropping by quickly tonight because I'm at someone's birthday. Enjoy the live, everyone. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to come by and just drop a like and a super chat. That is great. Thank you so much. Hopefully you watch this later. But,
And hi when you do. And if you never do, then hello to you not watching.
yeah.
But you mattered to us. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Anyway, this is all Rutherford just trying to figure out what had happened to Shax. His imagination went a little crazy. So he runs away from engineering.
And remember, we're recanonizing TOS again.
Yep.
Another show, another episode that has TOS uniforms looking like TOS uniforms. In modern Star Trek. I wouldn't be surprised now if maybe Strange New Worlds might kind of do very much a TOS look. Like almost fully faithfully. And say, okay, we did the uniforms right, but we're doing the sets wrong. But the uniforms... Because then it's like every... Because then when they're on location, the Trek will still come through.
We'll find out September 8th, because that's Star Trek Day.
Oh my god.
We're having panels, and I guarantee you there's going to be
Yep.
a teaser at
the
least for Strange New Worlds.
Full trailer. Guaranteed.
Finally.
Full trailer. They've been holding on to
Oh,
it.
you're saying full trailer? Okay.
2.5
there you go.
minute story trailer with Pike and Spot voiceover with showing like Catholian and Andorian, and yeah, full trailer. Because they've finished filming, they've done a lot of visual effects, they've not rushed it. Boom. And that'll be a whole live and a whole day and a whole week probably from us. Jump to it, us. Okay, us.
Wow.
Mhm.
Anyway, Orion Pirate Outpost.
Yes. And it's fun to see a full Orion base. Although
And 2 Orion babes.
Yeah.
Mariner and Tendi. They look fantastic with what they're wearing. I'm sorry. I gotta keep saying it.
Are you sorry?
No, I'm not.
Exactly.
They look great.
But one thing I'm surprised about, though, is that there's no mention of why a Starfleet Federation shuttle can land without challenge.
It was stolen. They're pirates.
I get that, but I really wanted to hear some voiceover saying, you know,
Oh,
Starfleet shuttle, who is this? Shut up!
we stole it.
Yeah, like that would have been a really, like, I think as a start of the scene, that would have been really fun.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. It just cuts really awkwardly. Like, this is a thieves' den, and that's like the law. It's like a Black Hawk helicopter landing in a bad place. It's like, oh, that's fine. It's like, well, I don't think it's a good side. I'm just saying. It's a small thing. But yeah, they do look good. Wait, does this imply they have replicators on a shuttle? How do they make new outfits? I guess they
Good
might.
question.
But they don't have... I don't think they're doing that as storage lockers. Which also they'd have to have.
And why would you have Orion? Like, yeah, so.
I mean, they could have doubled back to the spaceport after they... Because they didn't actually leave. No, they did. No, they did leave. Yeah, no, I don't know. Replicators.
Anyway, they both look fantastic, but the effects won't last long for Mariner, so they got to do their thing. How do I... What if I don't sound right? What if I don't sound like a pirate? Just talk like a pirate. They are there, matey.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You idiot.
Allergic to pheromones. Yeah, they're bad this time of year.
Which is like, what does that mean? But it sounds great. What does that mean? 2 notes. 1, I love all the Orions of different skin tones. Great touch. Super subtle. Really nice. And 2, I just saw in this big wide shot, there's a Starfleet box in the middle of those other boxes. So they've been stealing the Starfleet.
Yep. Not a band account, $2. Speaking of shuttles, when do we get Aqua shuttles?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McMahon would throw one in one of these episodes, honestly. But yeah, they run into her cousin Diani, and Mariner's all like, "Oh, he's so hot." But yeah, here we see the whole Orion women being in control because she like bows and kisses her feet and will do anything for her essentially, which is great because it's going back to the Enterprise episode where we find out that actually the women are in control because they're not slave women, right? So
there's a super great balance of, well, what is this? What does it mean? Like, is there pheromones? Is there not? Are they in control? Are they not? But it still feels rewarding and we learn stuff because it's a complicated culture. At the very least, we know she's not that Orion type that just sends out pheromones. But there is a subtle hint later on that she could. But I don't think that distance. So I think she's just a non-pheromonal Orion. But it does make sense. Those that could have strong pheromones to control men would rise up the ranks of... it's like the supermodel game. There are the ones that are judged the hottest in society who go to the top. Whereas there are lesser models, etc. So those that can fit better pheromones will end up ruling more. And if Tend is a non-pheromonal, that's fine. But she still has the social cues of beat up men. Well, that's my job.
With the way she says later, like that's not the kind of Orion I am. It's just she's just like promiscuous woman. She probably has all the pheromones the same as all the other ones. She just chooses not to use them for that purpose.
I thought it wasn't.
I did.
I thought it wasn't voluntary. It's like repressing a massive thing. We have nothing that's comparable, but it's like repressing a fundamental feature of our biology that actually defines their society. So I like to think that some just don't have it.
No, I disagree. I think all women are capable of it. They just choose not to. So, but we find out she's also called Mistress of the Winter Constellations.
Yeah,
which blows Mariner away, and then they refer to her as Tavana. It's like, that's another title. That's my name. Like, we knew that going into season 1 before we were signing episodes. So, I mean...
It's wonderfully like, Mariner, you done fucked up.
Yeah. But she's I think that's another audience analog thing where she's like, I thought it was like just a one name thing like Odo or, whatever. But I think it's reminding people because not everybody knows necessarily her full name. So,
but also it adds this level of and she calls her out explicitly on this that you don't know anything about Orion culture either. Now, if you didn't know Orion culture, you might assume they have one name names. This is not irregular. And if you knew Odo for years, that's and Nog, Rom. I mean, there are lots of races that have one name names. And if she's never ever heard Divana, I actually don't blame her for that. It's just she shows her lack of knowledge on Orions. But given that she has so much knowledge of Ferengi and etc., it's really satisfying to see Mariner is not all-knowing. Because she would know otherwise. So they really are developing her so much this season and grounding her right back into a more neutral place. So while that's not the obvious intention of the scene, that's what it is. That's what it plays. I think that's really, really good.
Yeah. Jeff Sturm.
Jeff.
$2. Just dropping by to say hello, Trekyards. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Much appreciated. Hello to you as well.
Hope you're having a fantastic day. And go watch Lower Decks on Amazon Prime right now. Give them views because we want to see 7 or 8 or 9 or 12 or 15 seasons. Mike?
Anyway,
you have no other job.
Mariner's fake green wears off. She's wearing false green.
Which I love that as a little euphemism. It sounds sort of racist, but, well, yeah. So I like that. It's a good... It's a good context.
Yeah. So they flip over a table and escape.
Yes. And they have a fight. So I didn't like this scene as much for whatever reason. Something the dialogue didn't make it. But I like that we're just work friends, etc. It's a logical line.
Oh yeah, just use your voice, your whatever. It doesn't work on angry mobs, which you would know if you know anything about me or Orions.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of Orion. Yeah.
And I just like that. Of course, like even if she had strong pheromones, a mob is not the same thing as one dude that thinks she's hot, or a cousin that does what she says. So I like the difference in context there.
And Ozzy, you keep calling her a queen. She's not a queen. She's mistress of the Winter constellation, whatever that means. Doesn't mean she's a queen. So, but yeah, they have a little bit of a tiff there, but that's okay. They need to get this thing back to the shuttle. They have to climb, and
which I don't think is a good plan. I'm kind of surprised at this plan, and the fact they both have to hold it. Like, it seems like a flawed thing from the start. And you would think they would look up, given this is the one way off the planet, and they didn't think, let's look at our space station element. So I think that lets the episode down a bit with just the lack of logic there. But I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? There's plenty of silly things in this episode that work okay. So I'll give it to them. Just, do you know what I mean? Just a bit. Well, I guess Orions aren't the smartest. I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Well, we'll get there when we get back to the climbing scenes, I guess.
Yes.
Here's Bradward saying nobody knows the Cerritos better than Bradward.
Except,
then it closes the door on him, and he's like, fine, you want to play it that way, Cerritos? I know another way because I know... What's he say? I know another way because I know you like you should know me. And then it closes the door behind him.
Which feels so anticlimactic. It's like, yes, your other escape route is the other door. Is the other way. Like, you don't show a plan here.
Well, there might have been a turnoff because he just went by a turnoff when we saw him. So, anyway, this can't be happening. And this is where he kind of has a little bit of a crisis. He says, first I got kicked off the Titan, then the Cerritos doesn't even know me anymore. Where do I belong? Then he gets a pep talk from his plate with Tom Paris on it.
Something you thought you were going to say in your life, didn't you?
Yeah. He's like, this is your home, it's where you belong, and you're not going to die in a Jeffries tube. You've been in tougher spots than this, so figure out a solution. So,
pretty much.
But then we get the, I'm worried about the fumes in here because you're talking to a plate thing, and,
And as sad as it is, this is Tom Paris's biggest scene.
Yep.
And it's a plate. And it's very short. Like, it would have been fine if this plate was the joke that throughout the entire episode he was talking to the plate, he was talking back, and was giving him life advice, and then when he finally meets Tom Paris, he's like, oh, Mr. Paris, thanks for saving me the Jeffries tube, and he's like, what? Like, that would have been, I think, much cleverer.
That would have made him seem fucking insane, though.
Have you met Brad Boimler yet? Well, no.
He's not insane, though. He's not insane to the point of seeing hallucinations of plates talking to him.
Well, give it a gas, though. Like, he's got a decent reason to be a bit wacko.
In this scene, yeah, but if he was walking around the whole time...
No, I meant as in throughout the Jeffries tubes from this point onwards. Like, there was multiple scenes of him talking to the plate, and the plate was...
okay.
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
I think that would have been really fun, I think. And let the... then you could have Robert Duncan McNeil be a bit daft, because, plates can be funny. Plates can be... You know what I mean? So
Joe Byram throws in $2.
Thank you.
It says Hellman Con. And what does it stand for?
I think con. I think con stands for con. It's not control, is it?
Well, whenever the captain leaves, it's always like you have the con, which to me means their old Navy term for conning tower, which is where the bridge is, or you have control of the ship.
Yeah.
I always thought control of the ship when I was a kid. I don't know specifically what con refers to. Yeah, I mean in TNG it's called operations. It's where data sits. It basically overviews everything of the ship. So, yeah. 125 people watching, 112 likes, guys. Let's get another 3 likes at least to 115 would be great. Honestly, another $40 in super chats would be great. So if you can, please do. We'd really appreciate it. And everybody that super chatted, thank you so much for your support.
Makes all of the difference. But yes, we're back to the climb, which is quite impressive. They can climb that much, and it's a bit of a jump to silliness, but good for them. But it breaks, like of course it would. It's a 200-year-old wooden sex doll. I don't think it's managed, fine. And the Orions chase them with their axes, etc., etc. It's a decent action scene, but it feels very movie contrived. But it actually kind of
Oh, yeah.
works in the insanity of what they're doing, and it's all literally just for a sex doll. But I mean, it's a scene. They get in the shuttle and they escape, and it blows up a bit of it as well. Oops. Pretty self-explanatory, really.
Jose says it's a memory alpha says it's a combination of navigation and helm, and S1 and war that's how it's spelled. It's spelled CONN. So, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, she tells. Basically, Mariner says, "Here, take this. You can't take us both. Take this thing and get out of here." And Tendi drops it. And Mariner's like, "No, what are you doing?" So she'd rather save her friend than. I mean, that makes a lot of sense though, because who gives a shit about this other thing? But anyway.
Well, she does. That's the point. It means a lot to her. But
yeah. I don't know. Anyway. They get back to the shuttle with half of the thing anyway. The guy throws an axe, which I thought was like alcohol at first. Turns out it was probably gasoline. Because as soon as the shuttle takes off, there's an explosion.
Yep. And then it exploded.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh. But then we get a good scene where Shax is getting into a turbo lift. Rutherford runs in and says, "I have to ask. It's been bothering me. I feel so guilty."
But Little Bear, whatever he said. Just thought it was a beautiful little reference. I was like, "Oh."
Says, "Whoa, baby bear, what's the matter?"
That's great.
Yeah.
Season 1 reference.
Yeah.
Continue.
And he's like, "I know I'm supposed to ask, but how'd you come back from the dead? It was my fault you died, and I feel really guilty." And maybe knowing, I know you don't want to tell just an instant. He's like, "Has nothing to do with rank. Saving you was my duty. You didn't cause my death. It's fine." He says, "We're sparing you the dark truth about scientific depravities that would haunt you the rest of your days. Once you know, you can never go back to being the man you were before. Works for me. Tell me."
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the first thing that happens is death. And then, oh wait, you know about the Black Mountain, right? Which I assume is probably a Bajoran thing.
See, there's no context to that, but like I said in another review, it adds so much of it's just a Bajoran thing. Because it's not just a MacGuffin of get out of jail free. It's like in his culture, they have the Pearl Wraiths, they have the Prophets, they actually have alien magic in essence, timeless beings. So if the Prophet said, "You're not dead, Strax," But also you could say it's just culturist. But whatever.
Well, anyway, the Black Mountain's a spiritual battleground where souls go, where you have to fight 3 faceless apparitions of your father. The surviving father makes you eat your own hearts.
And this stuff you can't hear. That's why when you did your read earlier, I was like, what is he saying? Yeah. Okay, and then watch the episode. You can't hear anything past the Black Mountains. It's completely gone. So I read it again with gusto, because this is like, this will be new to people, honestly.
Oh, I did read it with gusto.
Well, I mean, just read it again.
Try again.
With the context now.
So, yeah, the Black Mountain is a spiritual battleground. Your soul goes where you have to fight 3 faceless apparitions of your father. The surviving father makes you eat your own hearts. And then it fades off.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it'd be a little
And
bit
earlier when he was having his first vision about Shax, there's a line at the end. Well, 2. One says, what was up with DePaul's hair for that one season or that one year? And then the last one is, it's always Christmas in the Nexus.
Which is not true, because, for Kirk it wasn't, but I don't quite get the Jolie Baylock hair thing with DePaul. It's like, I mean, she had a Vulcan haircut. Why is this I don't know if that was ever a question in fandom. Why is her hair like what it does? I didn't think that.
I think it looked bad for like a few episodes. Janeway's went through some weird shit too. And Terry Farrell, like Dax, one episode they had a funky thing going on with it. They were trying, but yeah.
Yeah.
SWTX Chaser puts in $5.
Thank you.
Have the con is to have control of the helm. Mr. Sulu, you have the con. Equals Mr. Sulu, you have command authority to steer the ship as needed. Whenever they said you have the con, that means that they're the captain in charge. Yeah,
it's more broad than just the helm.
It's not just the helm. They're in charge of the bridge at that point.
I mean, he's right steering the ship, but figuratively, because they sit in the chair or they, it's not just helm. Otherwise, you just say the helm's officer, you have the helm. Like you wouldn't, or just steady as it goes, etc. Mm.
Okay. So then we get Brad Boimler, who's obviously in rough shape at this point. He's been in there for a while.
Which is
And
interesting because this might imply a time jump to help them travel, because it's a bit random that he literally rips up his uniform for no reason, makes a scarf on a head. Like, this is so abstract.
yeah,
I don't. And what is this? Blood? Is it sweat? Like, what's happened here?
I always got the sense it was grease or oil or something. But
But there's a certain disconnect between what the hell is happening and what the hell is happening.
yeah,
For
but
sure.
I like what he says here, which I didn't mention in the other video we filmed, unfortunately. He says, "I'm trapped because of a computer glitch, or perhaps it is I who is the glitch." And then the computer's like, "Personal log cannot be recorded. I'm gonna die, and it's all because of this stupid plate." And then the plate's like, "Don't do it, don't." And then he jams the plate in, and he falls onto the bridge for somehow. Right above the captain's chair too. So I don't know if I personally, on my own ship, I wouldn't want a Jeffries tube directly above the bridge. Seems like a big security risk, but that's just me.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's I definitely was like, this is an interesting moment, an interesting thing. I really appreciate the payoff to the moment, so I think it was a fun thing to have. This would be great to have more Paris though, like actually more Paris. And I just don't buy for a second he's literally above the bridge and happens to be on the trap door. Because was he locked actually on the trap door of the ship? Like at that point, it's a yeah.
But he screams, "I do exist, Tom Paris." And then Tom Paris, "A Kazon," which I that's another laugh out loud moment for me. I was like, oh god.
Because he does look crazy AF. Yeah, that was definitely a laugh out loud for me. And it shows he has like little PTSD from it. You know?
Yeah.
Those Kazons, because that's of all the references, like people don't like the Kazons that much, and that's a fun like. No, I got this, Captain. A Delta Quadrant species I haven't seen in 15 years. Come back. It's like what? Okay. No, it's good. That's a great shot of the shuttle interior. Wow. That's great.
But before as the fight's breaking out, we get cut back to the shuttle, and it's like, "Thanks for saving my ass back there. Well, you've saved me plenty of times." And then they get the whole, I'm vague on purpose. That's why I don't open up to people, because they get promoted and they take off, they leave.
Which is an interesting double meaning, because everyone does that, but you normally promote at the same time and go. And if you want to choose the people, like you always stay on the same path with them if you can, or you often can. Because she wants to stay at the same low rank, they leave her because they move on to new ships over the years. So it's an interesting symbol of like she hasn't got that ambition anymore. So how can she be friends with officers in general? Because they always outrank her, always move on quicker than she doesn't even care to. Yeah.
And Ozzy says, "I thought he beamed onto the bridge." No. He hit the panel, you saw some lightning, and then the door opened and he fell.
He shorted out, basically.
Yeah.
And Dan Ben says, "Not getting video back, so I'm going to go to bed." Oh. Sorry, Dan Ben. Have a good sleep and watch us on the back end, because it's working fine for else.
Yeah. 119 likes, though. 128 people, guys. Let's get to 130. We just hit 120 now, so another 10 more likes would be awesome. Obviously,
$73, Stuart. 73. I'm saying it.
73. Well, first of all, I think you mean $77.
Maybe.
Because your math's off. But yeah, some more super chats would be greatly appreciated if possible.
Because these are the episode reviews, guys. These are the big videos.
Yeah, Tendi says she never talks about herself because she's always too busy worrying about other people and trying to make them happy. So we kind of get some character development here between these two, which is great. And Mariner has a plan.
It's the best plan ever.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's not the best plan ever. I'll take that back instantly.
Ramming
it's
speed
fantastic.
at the Cerritos. But then cut to the fight. Boimler and getting his ass kicked by Tom Paris, which not many people in the quadrant can say. But the guy at helm is like, Captain, we got a shuttle collision course. And this is my third and final laughed out loud moment in this episode. Bonk! Off the shields. And the whole damage report, none. That was weird.
It's extremely knowing. Although briefly the beating up scene when Paris, he was like fighting like a monster, and no one does anything. Not even the security guys standing there and watching. Actually, someone Oh, actually no. Okay, good. But yeah, the crash is great. It's handled so perfectly. But I'm sure Mariner knows exactly what's going to happen, right? We don't know. But boink. It's perfect. Exactly what it would be.
Yeah.
And also it gives a great view of the windows. They are recessed.
Yes.
And there are grooves in the hull, which is hard to see necessarily in the other shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, damage report none, and just like, what is my daughter doing? Why? What is the reason? What's a possible reason for that? Like, it's great. It's such a the bee. But Stuart, how did a bee get there in the middle of space?
From the planet they were just on, you dumbass. That's what I would have said to Ransom. They probably got on the planet I was on, hung out, and came out and looking for,
Look, just remember the bee needs to go to the brig, okay? It's a darn bee.
One thing I do want to point out before, like that scene though, is the super close up of the engineering hull, which again is not fucking detailed at all.
Nope.
But anyway,
it actually looks really bad from this view.
Yeah.
And
it's
also,
almost like it's almost like they wanted to insert a really nice shot there, but they ran out of time, so just like put that there.
It looks really blurry.
Yeah.
It's really weird, and there were originally windows there, so it looks even more plain than season 1. Like that, yeah, weird.
But they go from that really muddy shot to the next shot of a crisply damaged Yosemite shuttle.
They keep breaking shuttles.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole bee thing, and Tendi tries to tell the truth, but Mariner's like, "No, it's all my fault."
It's the bee's fault, Stuart.
Well, yeah. But Dr. Tiana is like, I don't even care about the thing. I just wanted the box.
Mm-hmm.
Dumps it out and goes and does what a cat does. As soon as she said that, I knew it was coming because she's a cat. Yep. And well, this is probably a laugh out loud moment too. So maybe 4 laugh out loud moments for this episode. But when she pops her head out with the big diluted, like the big pupils, I was like, oh my God. That's great.
And I like
which I thought this would be the end of the episode, but
yeah, I like how everyone's just like, oh, that's Doctor. That's our Doctor. Like, it's so chill. And a great view of the sick bay as well. Do you sort of rarely get a sense of? Actually,
she's got an interesting office, actually. Big window.
Yeah, and now this back view is great.
Yeah.
Still no extra detail, but it's lit well. And then I wonder if these are real, like, if these are references to anything. I think they're just random images. But yeah, Klingon, punk metal. She's back in her brig again. That's the second time 2 episodes.
Well, there's another tick on the thing. Last time there was 3 ticks on her little castle, Mariner's HQ. Jonathan Davies, though, 5 pounds.
Thank you.
Didn't they do a bounce off the shields in season 3 of TNG? The one with the enhanced soldiers?
Yes. Yeah, kind of.
We didn't see it like that, though. That was like, boom. I love that. That was just hilarious. Anyway, Boimler shows up with a black eye, says, I didn't get the plate signed yet, but I'm hanging out with Tom later. Black eye is a better thing. Mariner's like, yeah, I mean, how many people can say they got a black eye from Tom Paris in this quadrant? So he's authorized now on the ship. All the doors are working for him except the the door that's not a door. It's just a seam in the wall. How many times do you see that in Star Trek?
And that was a legitimate laugh out loud, like, oh my god! Like, there's gonna be some awesome twist at the end, but it was like, I thought that was really quite funny. But he's got a concussion, so that's why. But yeah, all's good. Didn't get to play though, got a black eye. I'm going for dinner with Paris instead. I just wish we saw the goddamn dinner. It's begging for that scene.
Yeah.
Begging.
I also like when Mariner's like, did you get your bowl signed by Chakotay or whatever? Like, just mocking him.
Mm-hmm.
But then they ask Rutherford, so did you find out what happened happened to Shax? No. And he's got like PTSD now just from hearing the story. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that either's gonna be a real thing or completely ignored, and I don't know which one I want more. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a because oh my god. Although let's be, and I thought this during the watch, when Strax says, "You'll never be the same man again," unless you get mind wiped for a second time.
Yep.
So like you know what I mean? There's already an out for this. Like, you died, I got memory wiped. That was the bad day we both had. But look at us now, we're both fine. Except I don't. No, I still don't. Doesn't appear again. But yeah, kind of ends and goes to credits and no more Robert McNeil. But oh well. But that is it, Stuart. We'll always have Tom Paris, episode 3. I am eager to know you guys' scores. And for final Super Chats, of course, put in your scores if you want Stuart to read them as Super Chat. If you do not want Stuart to read them, then just put them normally. I'd love to hear a lot of scores. Even if you're just on your phone, jump in, throw your scores in, see what the consensus is. And I don't know what I'm going to say. Don't even know if you're going to know what you're going to say score-wise until you get there. And $50 more, that's 10 fives if we can. We're a bit low today. Really could do with them. And that includes Sergeant Montgomery because it updated as I was looking at it. So yay. But guys, please, we'll just throw in like some $2 of what you think. That'd be a good way of like putting that in. Mm-hmm.
But Sergeant Montgomery, like you said, throws in $10.
Boom!
Thank you so much. Here's a $10 for the cause. See, play on words. Very well done. Thank you so much.
He is smart. He make us go.
Absolutely.
I'm not wrong either.
So you want to do your review wrap up first because you were the first one to give your.
Sure. Then let me just set up the Word document thing. I don't know why it's.
Pumpkin Spice asked what was the next time on Lower Decks. We have no idea because they don't show us that anymore.
Which is disappointing. We will always have Tom Paris. So yeah, no, this episode, I enjoyed it. It felt almost like a TNG episode. The crew was well used. It was diverse, as in who was doing what. They had great Tendi stuff. She had the most development. Rutherford got a good chunk of stuff, even though it wasn't about him, but he still developed. Paris was a positive cameo, but didn't positively tickle our cameo.
Careful with that.
But it was a good episode. It was very Star Trek. You got to learn a lot about the Orions. You learned a lot about other things. The fact they went to Picard's bar, etc. They had uniforms in from canon. They had actual first contact uniforms being used left, right, and center, as they should logically be. But perfect. Everyone got a few lines. Some good. This episode was filled with very good small lines all over the place, like constant. So the script was really on point. It missed a few points, and it could have been a lot better very easily. But it comes from a very good place, and you learn the most about the characters in the most meaningful way, and also shows how much Mariner's grown. She isn't the same person in season 1. Fantastic. She's grown. She's better, and definitely a really ensemble episode, and probably the most ensemble we've had for a while. Score-wise, let's see. What do I think? Definitely close to season 1's quality, although not very funny. As I said to you earlier, it had a few very funny moments, but on a general level, they're not going for humor as much as they did last season. Like Orville did, same thing, more story over humor, which is sad because I like the uniqueness that brought. But oh well. So I guess I can't really measure it with how funny it was compared to season 1 because they're just not going for that anymore. Score-wise, for this season, I mean, it's the best of the season so far, so to be consistent, I'm going to give it an 8 for this season. It will be beat, but it's the best. For general Lower Decks, again, it was better than last week, so I'll say 7.5. It was solid, one of the better ones. By no means the best, There was easily better episodes, but very solid. And we're giving reference scores that we unifyingly agree on. I remember you suggested that. Does this have more or less reference quality than the first episode and the second episode? I think it fits in between because it has lots of uniforms and aliens and planets. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I disagree, but
Because it has
it was
more,
very, very low on the reference scale.
but it's more than the first episode. I can't remember any references.
Trying to remember what the first episode was now.
They had Gary Mitchell reference,
Oh yeah. There was more than that for sure. Yeah. Okay.
but this one had like loads of uniforms, mirror universe, temporal stuff, transport.
True.
Like it referenced so many things.
See, I think we also need a laugh out loud meter.
We can start. I mean, you can do that here.
I don't want to start. I don't want to make
Okay.
it official, but it's something we should mention a few times, like when we do reviews at least. Because literally 4 times for sure, it was a laugh out loud moment for me in this one.
It had the biggest laughs, but not overall funny.
Yeah. Jonathan Davies, 2 pounds. Wasn't Shrax a Mr. Potato Head from Doctor Who? Oh.
Yes. What are they called? They're called Centauran.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Well, my review is still kind of meh for me. You've talked me up a little bit on it, but honestly, just didn't cut it for me. It was definitely not the best of this season at all. Is it better than episode 1? Yes, there's more storylines going on, so it's marginally better. And like I said, the best things for me were Shax, seeing the Orion ladies, and the Tom Paris was the Kazon moment was funny, honestly. So character development wise, it was great for Mariner and Tendi. Rutherford, not so much. Boimler, there might be going on more with Boimler than we can see, which we talk about in another episode we've done, which you guys should check out. So who knows? That could go somewhere.
It's a step in his journey rather than a payoff in and of itself.
Yeah.
Also, you don't have the scores in front of you, which is why this is always fun, because you're totally going via gut reaction.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, I tell you what they are. At the end of the season, you're like, oh, damn. So don't overthink it. Just give your gut reaction score and we'll see where it lands.
For this season, it's definitely 5.5 for me. It's just, like I said, middle of the road. For all of Lower Decks, it's going to have to be, I want to say 5. I was going to say 4.5, but I'm changing it to 5. It was all right. It just had like a few moments, but overall as an episode, I didn't really enjoy the whole thing. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I just think it helped that, unlike the first episode where I didn't really care about any of the Goldman stuff, and that's like most of the episode. So when you cut out like 50% of the episode, I'm like, that's a bad storyline overall. But what's left? Whereas this, every storyline was good. You know? And last week it was like half it was really good, half it was letting itself down, but there was some really good. So it's they're all so different. All these 3 have been really different. Weird. Like last week, the almost the Titan stuff was the best stuff because it wasn't Lower Decks, it was Star Trek Titan, which is not what should be the case.
Yeah, but I feel they've definitely done the Orville formula. There was a lot more laughs in season 1. This one they've toned it down a bit, just like Orville did. Orville started off with jokey joke for the first couple episodes, and eventually got scaled down to that nice mixture of humor and good storytelling. So, all right, guys, put in your thoughts. Super chat your scores if you want to. I know a lot of people have put in their non-super chat scores, but if you do want to have me read it because I'm the captain, super chat away.
And we'll go last 5 minutes. We're going to go set up a green screen studio, which takes quite a long time, actually. Ha!
Another 3 likes. 3 more likes, please. And honestly,
23.
$15 more.
Okay, we'll do that.
$23 more because Samuel said so.
Would help. But let's do some non-super chat scores and let's see where you guys fit. And just briefly as a little tangent, I know you are very proud of this, as am I, but lots of live streamers wouldn't respond to the chat at all, so I'm going to read every single score. So if you put a score down, it's being read. Just to point that out, because we actually legitimately want to know what you guys think.
Don't forget Admiral Saval, who says he puts in 10, but not out of anything. So don't forget to read it.
Okay.
10 for... Okay, I'll read it. 10 for I really love seeing Boimler getting his ass kicked by Tom. So you must not be a fan of Boimlers. So there you go.
7 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 7.5. 8. 8. 8.6, 7, 7, 6, 7, 6. 8, 3. Wow, pumpkin spice, 3 out of 10. Mariner is more tolerable. Learning some humility, not many soon anymore. Yes, that's actually a good summary. 9 out of 10 and 9 out of 10. So real mix there, Stuart. Slightly more, I think, on the higher end, but that's fine.
Well,
cool stuff.
Matt Boardman says, doing a little research on the Black Mountain, it looks like in season 4, episode 5 of Rick and Morty, Morty says, "I'm dying, Rick. I can see the Black Mountain." There you go.
I mean, he's friends with Roland, so he could always have Rick. I mean, that would be a thing, wouldn't it? For I mean, they have an alternate universe portal gun. Why couldn't Rick turn up on the Cerritos? There's no reason to not.
They were responsible for bringing him Shrek's back. Maybe he popped into one of their dimensions and dun dun dun.
And then one day we have Morty say, "Oh, geez, Captain Freeman, I fired torpedoes." What? Oh, geez, the torpedoes came out of one of the cells somehow, Captain. How did I just press the button? Oh my God, and Mariner's dead. What? And the dolphins, Captain, let the dolphins out. I fired the dolphins out of the cells. Oh, geez, Rick. I just suck at piloting. I shouldn't be at the con. How's that?
You do a pretty good Morty, gotta say.
Oh, jeez, thanks, Stuart. I mean, Captain, don't hit me.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. All right, guys, we hit our 134 likes, or 130 likes, which is awesome. Honestly, at this point, because we do have to wrap it up, another $5. One $5 super chat would be a great way to end out. There is the last super chat slot, should you guys want to fight for it. But right now, Jonathan Davies has it. But a $5 super chat would be a nice minimum number. So, if possible, we would love you for it. The shuttle plinking off the shields is an unusual and memorable shot. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yep, 100%. It was exactly how it would be.
Yeah. And Jose says, I know this is Trekyards, but are you guys going to review the Orville Season 3 when it comes out? Well, considering we reviewed Orville Season 1 and 2, I would say no.
Breaking news here on Trekyards. No Orville Season 3. Wow.
Of course we will.
Breaking news here on Trekyards. Orville Season 3. Yes, reviews.
Usually with those, though, we don't do episode by episode. We kind of do chunks of like four or five episodes.
That was Mandalorian. Orville will do the Meech. We just don't do all the sub videos. We always do a live. We don't do an interview. We do a live.
Season 2 of Orville, we did like 2 or 3 at the end because we weren't getting the views we wanted, so we saved them up. Oh,
really?
yes.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. I was remembering season 1. Yeah, because we did the battle one, and that went really great. And then people didn't come back again.
Yep. People just don't watch them, so we don't want to put too much time into them. But, we're here doing them if you guys want to check them out. So.
Because we have that many to talk about. Yeah, because we did Identity Part 1 and Part 2 as a special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sergeant Montgomery throws in $5, and he has the last super chat slot now. Says, from the Franklin Mint's Klingon Ceramics line, this limited edition TR-116 commemorative plate, bidding starts with Snape. That was great. That's exactly what the commercials were like back then.
And the Needle Channel says, when are we getting Trekyards collector's plate? Well, who's Trekyards? First of all, it's Trekyards, one word, no second capital. But that's a funny idea. We should have one of our graphics guys put together a plate. That'd look great.
Should be 3 plates. One of you in the Horizon, one of me in the Foley, and then one of both of us with the Trekyards symbol. See?
And then put that plate on a shirt at the at the store. So we can wear a plate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
you
wearing
could
an
put-
L-cast shirt. Why wouldn't we wear a plate?
Perfect. Yeah. There you go.
That's
All right. So we hit our
Yes.
goals. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you. Yes.
Tune in.
Well, you will see us this weekend. And I may or may not post some images back on the green screen wearing a uniform I never get to wear, which is why I got a haircut to look much younger.
Yeah. Melissa Jericho says, you say that, but your Orville video is the most watched. On the ship, yes. But our episode reviews were poorly underwatched, and nobody super chatted. Nobody interacted, really. It was just...
It got
busy.
sadder because we love this interaction.
Yeah. When we don't have the viewership, we kind of get... we get kind of...
Well, it's a conversation, yeah. And it's funny because we didn't Discover at the same time, and so we're seeing like 180 people in one, 60 in the other, and it's like, but it's the same.
But Orville is so superior to Discovery. Why is there such a disparity?
And it's like,
Because it's Trekyards, I guess.
it's the same people. Why wouldn't they come to both? Like, they're both great shows. Well, I mean, they're not, but one was a great show. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yes, see you guys probably on Monday. Thank you for all, and all a good night. I worked.
That's right. So until later.